Working together, Sandy and Cindy can grade a set of algebra quizzes in 18 minutes. Working alone, it would take Sandy 15 minutes longer than it would take Cindy to grade a set of algebra quizzes. How long would it take each person to grade the quizzes alone? Since they ask us how long it would take each of them working alone, that's going to give us our let statements. So let's let Sandy's time working alone be something, and we'll get to that in just a minute. And we'll let Cindy's time working alone be something else. Now in the problem we're told working alone it would take Sandy 15 minutes longer than it would take Cindy. So if Cindy's time is X, since it would take Sandy 15 minutes longer, that means Sandy's time is going to be X plus 15. And now that we have our let statements, we can set up a table to organize all of the information. This is a shared work problem, so it's still going to be rate times time equals work. And the two people here are going to be Sandy and Cindy. Let's start to fill in the table. We need Sandy's rate of work, and we know that someone's rate of work is the reciprocal of how much time it takes them to do the job. And since Sandy's time would be X plus 15, her rate is going to be 1 over X plus 15. Similarly, since Cindy's time is X, her rate would be 1 over X. Now the time is always the time working together, and we're told that working together they could do it in 18 minutes. So for both of them, the time is going to be 18. And to figure out how much work each of them does, we multiply across. So for Sandy, that's going to be 18 over X plus 15. And for Cindy, that's going to be 18 over X. Now, we've set up our table. We now need to write an equation that models the situation. And in total, the total work they're doing is going to be 1, because together they're grading one set of quizzes. So that means the work Sandy does, 18 over X plus 15, plus the work Cindy does, 18 over X, equals a total amount of work of 1. Now that we have our equation set up, we can solve. Whenever we have an equation with fractions in it, we want to multiply both sides by the LCD to get rid of the fractions. And in this case, the LCD is X times X plus 15. So we're going to multiply both sides times X plus 15. Now on the left-hand side, we're going to have to distribute. In the first term, we notice that there's going to be an X plus 15 that cancels, because we've got one in the top and one in the bottom. That leaves us with X times 18, or 18X. In the second term, we're going to have an X that cancels, because we've got one in the bottom and one in the top. So that's going to leave us with X plus 15 times 18. And on the right, 1 times anything is itself, so we can ignore that 1 out front. And then when we distribute the x in, that's going to give us x squared plus 15x. Now on the left, we can distribute that 18. So we still have the first 18x, but now we're going to have a second 18x. And 18 times 15 is 270. And then we can combine like terms. 18x plus 18x is 36x. So we have 36x plus 270 equals x squared plus 15x. Now we have an x squared here, so this isn't a linear equation. It's a polynomial equation. And the way that we solve those is by getting all the terms on the same side so that we can use the zero factor property. So we're going to subtract 36x on both sides. That leaves us with 270 equals x squared minus 21x. And then we're going to subtract 270 from both sides, giving us 0 equals x squared minus 21x minus 270. I'm going to rewrite that up here where I have more room. 0 equals x squared minus 21x minus 270. And when we factor this, we're looking for two numbers that have a product of negative 270 and a sum of negative 21. And those numbers are negative 30 and 9. So this is going to be x minus 30 and x plus 9. Now when we use the zero factor property, this becomes x minus 30 equals 0, or x plus 9 equals 0. And when we solve, we get x equals 30, or x equals negative 9. Now, of course, x can't be negative 9, because x represents how long it takes Cindy to do the job, to grade the set of algebra quizzes. And I wish it was possible to grade a set of algebra quizzes in negative 9 minutes. That would be beautiful. Unfortunately, it's not. So the only actual answer that makes sense is x equals 30. So that means Cindy can grade the algebra quizzes in 30 minutes. And Sandy's time is x plus 15. So 30 plus 15 is 45 minutes. And we need to answer the question that we were asked. How long would it take each person to grade the quizzes alone? It would take Sandy 45 minutes and Cindy 30 minutes. Which makes sense. If they can do it together in 18 minutes, then of course it's going to take each of them longer if they're doing it alone.